Hello, hello. So today is our member spotlight interview with Kaylee, and she's going to be talking about sharing a little bit about her journey working with me for the past 5, 6 months that she's in our program. She's been killing it. And she's also going to share a little bit more about her journey so far, where she's coming from, and how she lost 20 pounds, almost 20 pounds, and completely transformed her physique. She looks amazing now, super lean and toned and feeling amazing in her own skin in just 5 months. So I'm going to get her on here. In the meantime, let us know where you're joining in from. And Kaylee should be joining us in a few seconds. And I'm so excited for this. Oh, hello, hello.
Hello, Andrea. How's it going?
I am great. How are you?
I am good. I am in North Carolina this week on the East Coast, and it is very rainy and kind of hurricane weather. So not the
Ooh.
best time to come, but very excited to be able to. I'm having a lake weekend this week with some of my girlfriends from college. We're trying to make it a yearly tradition to see each other.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so exciting. That's awesome. And I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for joining.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'm super excited to be here. Super excited to join.
Yeah, I know we've been working like crazy, so I really appreciate you taking the time to, out of your lunchtime to hop in here and talk with me. So appreciate that so much. So Kaylee, why don't you start off by saying, like, sharing a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, what do you do, just so people can get to know you.
Yeah, of course. Hello everyone. My name is Kaylee. Um, my background is I was a Division I athlete, so I swam throughout college. Sports has always been a really big part of my life. Have just always been kind of working out, and something that's really important to me is to consistently pursue excellence, academically or in my career, but also physically as well. So post college athlete life was tough. I think it's something that's talked about a lot, transitioning from college athletics into the real world. And it's something that took me a couple of years to realize that I wanted some more structure around kind of my routine. I think when you go through college athletics, something that you realize is that you go through your whole life with a coach. And then suddenly you just don't have that anymore. So you lose the accountability, you lose the kind of motivation with your teammates to kind of get up in the morning and go work out. There's kind of a lot of things that just sort of drop off. And so I realized that that was something I was really missing and that I really wanted to pursue again. The thing that gave me pause was I am very busy, like you said. So my career right now after college is I'm a management consultant. So what that means is I'm typically working pretty long hours. I'm typically on the road every week for at least 3 days. So it's not a super sustainable lifestyle long term, and it's definitely something that makes it difficult to follow a nutrition plan and a fitness workout plan as well. But I kind of just got to that point earlier this year where I was like, you know what, if I don't just do something, it's never going to happen. And so I wanted to look for a coach who was going to provide me the flexibility with my lifestyle that I could, have flexible macros, for example, and be able to get my workouts in a random hotel gym, and be able to push me to get to my goals like I've had coaching in the past. So I realized that was a little bit spilling over into kind of why I joined the program as well. But that's a little bit about me and how I found Andrea and how I've been enjoying this program.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And what's interesting about you is that I specifically work with women over 30, and the women in the program are like double your age. And one of the things that I remember very vividly. And I have to mention how young you are, because you're such a high achiever for your age. And that's why I wanted so much to, get to know you and see if it would be a good fit. And I wouldn't typically do that, because you have that drive in you and you have that, high achiever mentality. Because the age in and of itself, it's more so, okay, are we all in the same mindset? Are we all here for the work, right? Which you are. And I remember when you applied, I went through your application. Like, how come this girl is just 23? Like, I want to get to know her. I want to talk to her. What's happening here? And you're 24 now, right?
Turning 24 in a month. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I am pretty young. I'm on the younger side.
Yeah. No, but your work ethic and your drive, your discipline, your ability to just, it's amazing. It's unbelievable. And the fact that you were married already, so like things that, okay, this girl is different. So that's one of the reasons why you've been so successful in the program and you've been able to achieve the results that you achieved so far. It's because you really do the work, and mainly because you're also used to having a coach in the past, in your athletic background. So you know how to be coachable also, right? You're not going to be not doing what we suggest and so on. So I'm very happy to have you in our team. I'm very happy to be able to help you through this journey and support you. Now, you told us a little bit about why you joined and where you're at, but can you give us a little bit more detail? What was your fitness looking like, your life looking like right before you decided to join?
Yeah. I definitely can give that background. So like I mentioned, was a college athlete several years ago. I also did a brief stint in bodybuilding as well. So I did a bikini competition, which was super fun, but super intense. And I, after college, was feeling a bit burned out, ended up kind of just not working out for about a year. Like, go on walks, go on hikes, maybe with friends, or do outdoorsy things, but nothing structured, nothing where I was going to a gym or anything like that. Especially as I was starting my career, I was trying to learn how to set personal boundaries, and be able to advocate for myself and what I needed to take care of myself, while also being able to pursue excellence professionally. And so it took me a little bit of time to do that as well. But once I sort of found my footing at my job, got to the point where I felt like I was no longer burned out of athletics, where I felt like it was my job and that I wanted to do it. That was kind of the sweet spot, so to speak, where I was like, okay, let me fall in love with fitness again, and let's kind of go on this journey. So last September, I got ClassPass, and I tried every single type of fitness class in all of Houston. So I was going to kickboxing, I was doing yoga, and I ended up falling in love with Pilates. What I really loved about it was low impact, but I felt like I was getting resistance training in, and it was kind of like a slow on-ramp back into my fitness journey. So I was going to Pilates like 4 or 5 times a week. It was great, was building my strength, just kind of getting the functional fitness back. But then towards December, I felt, okay, I really want to ramp this up. Pilates is great, and I really love it. It's still one of my hobbies, but I want to be able to do a body recomp, because I'm just not happy with how I look, and I know how I can look. I know how I can feel. I love feeling strong. I love looking at biceps in the mirror. Like, that to me is what sexy is a muscular toned woman.
Yeah.
And that's who I'm used to, like, looking at the mirror in the past. And just, I didn't feel like myself. And so I knew that I needed to do something. I knew it was going to be in the weight room, from my background. And so I was looking specifically for a coach who was going to help me with body recomposition and losing fat, gaining muscle, going through the whole process. But also was going to be, like I said, flexible to my lifestyle. And so when you came up as a body recomp coach for career ambitious woman, I was like, wow, that's like literally what I would type in Google, And the only thing was that you were specifically more so targeting women over 30, but I figured I'd reach out nonetheless.
I'm glad
it all worked
you
out.
did.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And can you give us more details on what are the one or two specific things that you've been able to accomplish up until this point? Because you joined in January, right?
Yeah, at the
January this year. So we're halfway through. Signed up for a year right away, which is amazing. I love action takers like that. And what are one or two or even more takeaways that you can pinpoint from this past few months working together?
Yeah, no, great question. I think there's a lot of things I've learned in the short half year, I guess, so far. Some of the biggest things I think I've walked away from, number one is that there are no deadlines in your fitness journey, or there shouldn't be, unless you're imposing them. So what I'm used to before this program, in college athletics, everything's about a deadline, right? You mark the calendar for conference or NCAAs or whatever meet that you're going to, and you're like, okay, how am I going to, work backwards and figure out, how am I training? How am I eating? Am I tapering yet? All of that kind of stuff. So everything, you're working toward a deadline there. And then with bodybuilding, same thing, even more like, but that's very physique focused. And so that's even more of a mental toll, because you're constantly like, okay, everything I put in my body is going to be make or break for once show date comes. And that's going to be visible on stage for everybody to see. So after bodybuilding, I was like, I don't want to do that again, because I felt very pigeonholed into a deadline. And I think that ultimately, if you want to have a long, sustainable, and successful fitness journey, you need to go into it knowing that you can make mistakes, that the only way to fail is by giving up, and that as long as you're making progress in the right direction, that's really all that matters. And I think particularly for people who are type A or perfectionists, it can be tough to feel like, oh my gosh, like I ate off track, or oh, I missed a workout this week. Like, it's going to happen. Life is always throwing you curveballs. Just this week I've been working like 16-hour days. And so I might not get one of my workouts in this week, but that's okay, because life happens. And it's like, okay, but at least you didn't do zero. It's not an all or nothing thing. And I think the all or nothing mentality is something that I've learned to sort of not use with my approach to fitness. And then the other thing I would say is kind of along that line is like progress, not perfection. It's just like, I have always taken the perfection route when I am working toward a goal. And, maybe there's a couple slip ups and I kill myself over it. But like most of the time I feel like, oh yeah, I'm perfectly on track with everything. I have 100% not been perfect on this fitness journey over the last 6 months, and I'm still able to achieve my goals. I went on vacation for 2 weeks with my family, and I ate intuitively, and I did random workouts because I was on a boat. So like I just like did random push-ups and stuff like that. And I came back and I had gained some water weight, but the next week it like immediately went away. So it's like things like that where I'm learning. One mistake or a little bit of a break is not going to like ruin everything that you've been working towards. And that's just incredibly, incredibly freeing.
That's amazing. And that's amazing that you pointed that out, because we talk a lot about hard work and being dedicated, and us as high achievers and as perfectionists, we tend to go all in or nothing, right? And we typically end up on the nothing side. And it ties perfectly with the deadline that you also mentioned, because sometimes you just have that specific deadline and we go all in for that deadline. Oh, this is a 6-week challenge. This is an 8-week challenge, or I'm gonna get ready for summer or for that wedding that I have to attend. And then the question is, what happens after that? What happens when the deadline is not there? What happens when life throws you curveballs, which happens all the time? Learning how to navigate that is just so important and crucial for your long-term results, right? And you've been doing this amazingly, transitioning from the perfectionist or all nothing to, okay, let's find the middle ground here. Let's find something that works for where you are currently, but at the same time that gives you the results, right? So amazing that you pointed that out. And what kind of results you got so far in your journey?
Yeah, no, great results. I think there's a couple of dimensions that I would think about this on. We sort of a little bit talked about the mental aspect.
Yeah.
But then there's also obviously the physical aspect, and then the emotional aspect as well. So I think physically, I mean, my progress pictures kind of speak for themselves. I've lost inches off I think like 4 inches off my waist. I have put on a significant amount of muscle.
You're
feeling stronger. I'm feeling really strong in the gym. Yeah. Looking around and guys are, you know, trying to pick up heavier weights after they look at me, that type of thing.
That's amazing. I love it.
Sort of joking there, but but feeling really strong. That's something that gives me a lot of confidence, because I like I mentioned, because of my identity for so much of my life being so closely tied to athletics, like me being strong or me being athletic or strong or able to do certain things, certain skills in the gym, just like makes me feel more like myself. So that's been really great. And then like how I feel about myself, the emotional side of things. I just have so much more confidence. I'm fitting into like all of these clothes that I was wearing during college. And, you know, I feel confident wearing a bikini again. I feel just confident being able to really wear whatever, like if you were just to say, here, wear this outfit, I would probably wear it. Like, I feel very confident in myself. I'm really proud of the hard work that I put in. And I'm just really happy that I've been able to achieve my goals. In the last couple of months. It's been awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah, that feeling is the best, right? Feeling that you can wear whatever you want and feel great in it, and love it, love it, love it. It's all your hard work, and the right strategy for you also. And if you were to say, what are your favorite things about the program, or what do you think that we do differently than other fitness programs out there?
Yeah. So I have done a couple of different things. I mentioned bodybuilding. Yeah. I've also done like apps, like if you've heard of Noom. So I got married in April of 2022. And ahead of that, I was like, oh, you know, I kind of fell victim to the whole, you know, your wedding body has to be your best body type of mindset.
Yep.
But I didn't want, at that time, I didn't want to pay for a service. I thought, oh my gosh, you know, I'm a college Division I swimmer. Like, I don't need to pay somebody to tell me how to do this. Like, I know nutrition, I know blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And so I just got an app to like help me kind of log some of my food. I went back to some of my old bodybuilding worksheets, like Excel worksheets, and like cobbled together some random workouts. And I mean, I looked fine. Like, you know, I was happy with my wedding pictures. I wasn't like, you know, upset at how I looked or anything. I think I looked great. I just know that I look better now. I think what's different about it is that, one, this program doesn't have deadlines. Like you said, it's not an 8-week, 12-week challenge. And oh my gosh, you have to take pictures at the beginning and end, and then you're done. That's it. Yeah. The other thing is that it's a lot more flexible. A lot of programs I feel like are, I'm going to write you a meal plan and follow it. And I think that's great if you like aren't generally familiar with nutrition, or you just want some sort of foundation. But for me, that makes me feel trapped, especially when I'm traveling, because I can't just randomly have like a pound of shredded chicken on me. You know, I have to be able to find healthy alternatives eating out, or like pick something up from Target or Whole Foods or something like that. And so when you just give macros or guidance on calories and protein, for example, I kind of feel like I have the goal and I'm able to build the roadmap myself. And I like that autonomy. Yeah. the other thing is the workouts. I feel like they're very doable. They're difficult, of course, the intensity is difficult, but it's not like you're in the gym lifting for 2 hours straight.
Yep.
So I typically will go to the gym for 2 hours, but that's because I need to get my steps in because I work a desk job. But I don't feel like I'm training like I was back in college, and I still feel really, really good about myself. I feel stronger than I was in college, because I am training with intention and doing progressive overload and all of these other different methods that are great for strength training. But overall, I feel like this program is a really good fit for someone who feels like they have a decent foundation in nutrition and exercise, and has just a really crazy schedule or crazy life. I think this is honestly like almost like build your own adventure with kind of some guidelines set in place.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And the autonomy, it will really be specific to the person too, right? Because we were able to, based on your current, like where you started with us, based on your intake, based on where you were at and your main challenges, we were able to build that autonomy so you could go in and, okay, I can handle this, right? For somebody who might not have that level of knowledge, we might start out at a different point. So it's very customized to the person as well, and which I think is very, very important. And especially if you have a busy lifestyle, you need to have that level of personalization to your program. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to sustain it, right?
For sure.
Love it. So, and the results that you got, which are fantastic, mentally, emotionally, physically, and everything. I'm so excited every time you share them. How do you think that they've impacted other areas of your life?
Yeah. Great question. I think if I had to kind of just put it succinctly, I think the root of it all is confidence. And when you walk through your life confidently, that just changes how you interact with others. It changes how you talk to yourself. It changes how, like, your general mood throughout the day. So generally I would just say, like, I am more happy. Like, that would be like the one sentence I would say.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't feel trapped by what's in my closet. I don't feel like I don't want to go to the pool with my friends, or I don't want to go to such and such social activity because I'm worried about, what I'm going to wear, and if like my old formal gowns are still going to fit and all of that kind of stuff. I just feel like I'm moving through life with one less thing weighing down on me. And it's a pretty big thing to weigh down on you when it's the body that it's like the vessel that you are moving through life with. So if you don't take care of it, that's something that has a lot of implications on pretty much every other area of your life.
You said everything perfectly there. Yeah. We only have one body. This is the only body that we're going to live. So we better take care of it and make the most out of it for sure. I love that. And when you signed up with us, I remember that we had a call. Your husband was on the call as well, which I love. I love supportive husbands.
Me too.
What were, if any, did you have any hesitations prior to signing up? Because you were looking through IG, you typed it in, and you found me, and okay, another fitness coach on Instagram. Did you have any hesitations prior to saying, okay, let's do this?
Yeah, for sure. Couple that come just like top of mind that come to mind now. I think the biggest one was financially. So I am younger. I'm just starting out in my career. My husband is in medical school. He's a fourth year. And so he is not earning any money right now. And so anything that we do right now, we are trying to budget a little bit more heavily in the early years. So anything we do is obviously very much a joint decision and a conversation that we need to have together. But it was something that I really, really wanted to prioritize, and he knew that. And so my biggest hesitation was price and like, what is this going to cost me?
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, when you're younger, money is something that you have to think about a lot more, I think, than maybe some of your other clients. And so that was the biggest hesitation. The scholarship was something that I think really pushed me past the tipping point of being like, yes, like I really want to do this. Yes, you know, like this isn't going to be a $10 a month, you know, type of app subscription. But this is something that I feel like is going to work. This is something that I specifically want. And I know that when I put my mind to something, I'm going to do it. So that was not a hesitation. I knew that I was going to get the results that I wanted. But it was mainly the price. The other thing though was the length of time. So like you mentioned before, I did sign up for a full year kind of like at the get-go. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, was that a little bit too just in the moment, I guess. Like, should I have really signed up for a whole year? Like, I haven't done a trial. Like, I don't know what's going on. But I'm really glad that I did, because I was actually thinking about that this morning while on the treadmill. I was like, man, I'm already at 6 months. Like, I would have had to do a whole nother deal and I would have not saved money. So here I am. Like, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm sticking through it. And I'm definitely planning on staying more than a year at this point. So yeah, price and length of time were kind of my main two hesitations, but both of them have no longer been doubts.
Amazing. And what would you say to somebody in your position, somebody that might be watching and wanting to join, and they might have the same hesitations as you? What would you say to that person?
I would say that if you really want it, if you really want to make the move to prioritize your health, prioritize how you feel about yourself, then I would say don't have those hesitations. Like, yes, they are real considerations, and I'm not going to pretend that those aren't things that are more serious for some people than others. But I will say, I think that it is 100% worth the investment in yourself. I have felt like I would pay that money today. If I went back to myself in January, I'll put it this way, and I said, I'll pay you, or you pay me X amount of dollars and you'll look like that in a year or 6 months, I'd be like, here's the money, you know, like absolutely. So yeah, it is a lot of hard work, and you know, financials are definitely a consideration, but I think that if you truly want to make the investment in yourself, and if you're feeling kind of that inner voice telling you like, it's time, like I can't do this anymore, or like I really want to make this change, then do it. I think that if you're really committed to it, then you will see progress, you will see the change, and it is absolutely worth it.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
I cannot say enough good things about you and how proud I am for, like, I can't even see like where you're going to be at. I can't wait to see where you're going to be at a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, when you're around 30. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm so proud of you and all of your accomplishments, all of your hard work. And yeah, just love having you in the group. And thank you so much for joining. Is there anything else that you'd like to share? I know that you have to go back to work. So is there anything else that you'd like to share?
No, not really. Just want to thank you, Andrea, for being an awesome coach. Really appreciate all the support over the last couple months. Truly feel like the strongest version of myself. And I'm feeling the confident, sexy woman that you put in your Instagram bio. Truly very thankful for everything you do for me and for everyone else who's in the fitness group as well. Very much appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. It really is. Like the amount of impact and just seeing you guys thriving, it literally makes my day every day. Like, it's one of the most rewarding things in the world. But again, it's all you, right? I'm just here guiding and providing the roadmap, and you do the hard work. So I'm very proud of you, and you should be as well. So much, Kaylee.
Thank you
that was
so much.
fun. Have a great rest of the day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.